Assalamualaikum, welcome back to this channel again. Today we are going to learn MultiProvider, how to use MultiProvider in Flutter. This is the topic of today's lecture. So this was a application what we have created in last video, and if you have not watched that video yet, I will share a link in description box. You can go and watch there. So let's move towards the today's topic. So today let me show you the demo of the application what we are going to build in this particular video. So let me show you the demo of the application. So this is a demo of the application which we are going to build in this particular video. So here you can see that we have a container, and then there is two sliders that are using to control the height and width of the container. So this is the demo of the today's video what we are going to build. So you have already seen that what we are going to build in this video. Now let's move towards the implementation. So today's topic is MultiProvider. So let's implement the MultiProvider. I will in order to use MultiProvider, we have to return a MultiProvider widget. So MultiProvider, its name is showing that the widget in which we are declaring multi-provider classes. So it takes automatically the list of providers. So here I will pass a list, and I will write a column here. And in this providers list, we will pass this single changenotifier provider. Right. So this was a provider what we have created in last video, and this is a single provider in MultiProvider, right? So if we create another provider class, then we will write another chain notify provider here, right? So this is the way that how to declare MultiProvider. And I will copy this from here, and I will remove it and write a column here, and now that's everything is perfect. So this is the way that how to implement MultiProvider. It's very simple. It's not very rocket science. So this is the way of implementation of MultiProvider. Now let's create a class for the provider of the demo application which you have already seen. So I will create a class here, container provider dot. You can name it whatever you want, and then I will import a library foundation, and then I will create a class container sizer, right? You can name it whatever you want, and then I will write changenotifier. So if you are not familiar with changenotifier, I have already explained the basics of the provider components. You can watch the video. I will share the link in description and I button. You can go and watch that video. So the next thing is now create a variable double height. So this height would be used to control the height of my container, and then I will write width. I will pass the values 100, 100, and then I will create a get method. So get method is used to basically retrieve the value of the variable which we have created. So I will pass get height, and here I will pass height, right? And now I will write a set method. So set method is used to modify the value of the variable which we are retrieving by using get method, right? And then I will pass a parameters that will use to modify the value of the container. Right? If you are not familiar with getter and setter method, you will not understand this concept easily. So I will request you to watch the video of getter and setter method. The link is already shared in the description, because if you have not clear understanding about getter and setter, you will not understand what we are going to do. Right? So here now I will pass height is equal to value, and then I will pass notify listeners. Now I will same implement for width. I will copy it and I will pass width and okay, and then I will write here width. So now our provider our changenotifier class is ready to implement. Now let's build the UI of the application, right? So I will create a new class and I will write name example dot, right? So before designing the UI of this class, I will pass my this change notifier at here in provider list. So I will copy it, and then I will write here, and I will name it container sizer. Right. So this is a way of implementation of multi-provider. Now let's build a class. Import Flutter material, and then I will create a widget that will be a stateless widget. So I will name it example, and then I will create a scaffold, and in scaffold I will create a body, and in body I will create a column and container a column inside children, and then I will write a consumer. So I'm sure you are familiar with consumer. In last video we have discussed the consumer widget. So if you have not watched that video yet, I will request you to watch that video where we talk about consumer, how to use consumer. So consumer is basically used to update a specific widget in order to build a specific widget if we don't want to rebuild the whole screen. So this is the purpose of using consumer. So consumer will takes a builder, and in builder we will pass three values. We pass three values: context, value, and child. In value you can pass any name, any variable name, whatever you want. So in last video we have implemented the value. So here today's video we will use a provider name. So it is not necessary to use different names. You can use value too. If you have a single consumer, you can use a value. If you have multiple consumer, then you can use different names. So today's video I am gonna use a provider name. Now the next thing is return. So we are going to as you have seen already, we have three widgets, two sliders and one container. So I will take here a column, and in column I will use children. Right. So in first here I will pass a container, and in container I will pass a height. So for calculating the height, I will get the height from my this container provider changenotifier class. So I will write provider dot. So it is not accessing. Sorry. Here I have to pass the changenotifier class. So my class name was container sizer. Now if I here write, it is accessing that value. And now same for width, provider dot width. Right. So I will pass also colors dot blue. And now the next thing is create a sliders. Right. So I will pass size box in order to give spacing. I will pass height will be 50, and now I will create a slider. So this slider will get a value. So I will pass here the first slider will be used to control the height. So I will pass provider dot height, and in on change we will pass the method for the value which we have created here. In on change this set method of height and width will be used. Right. So this the first slider will be used to control the height. So set height will be used here. Right. So I will pass here value, and then I will return provider dot height is equal to value. So this provider dot height will get a value whenever we will update the slider. Right. And now I will copy it, and then I will paste here, and now here I will pass width, and here I will pass width. Right. So let's save it, and let's pass this class here. What's the name? Example. So I will pass this class here. Okay, let's import it. Okay, let's update the screen, reload it. Okay, so what is the value here? Direction package min and maximum is 100. So basically we have not provided the min and maximum value. That's why it is showing an error. So I will pass min value 50. You can pass any value whatever you want. So I will pass max value 300 and I will copy it, and same I will pass to this slider. So this was the error. This was a mistake which we have made. Let's hot reload it. Okay, it is showing an error. Okay, I will pass height here, size box height, and I will give 100, right, and then I will update it. Okay, now in order to showing the height and width, I will use a widget for text to display the current height. So I will here use height. Okay, and here I will pass provider dot height dot round. Round is basically used to round off the value if we are getting the value in points. Basically, we are getting the value in point because we are using the variable double variable. That's double data type. That's why I'm just rounding off the pointing value. Sorry. So here I will pass width, and then I will write here width. Right. So it is showing now height and width. Current height and width is 100 and 100. Now let's move this slider. If I move this slider, you can see here my container height is changing. So this was the implementation of this was a demo which we have seen at the start of the video, and I hope this video will be useful for you. And in this particular video, we implemented the MultiProvider. So in this video we first implement this MultiProvider class, right? And this MultiProvider class takes provider list. So here we have passed the list of providers, and then we created this change-notifier. This class is change-notifier that is getting two variables, height and width, and then I have created getter and setter method. After that, I have created this this class in order to design this screen. So here we are getting consumer. Consumer is basically used to update the particular widget state. So that's why we use consumer instead of using the provider dot of context method that is basically used to update the whole screen. So that's why we use consumer, and then we have used a container where we are passing the height and width, which we have created here in changenotifier class, and then we have used two sliders that are used to control the height and width of the container. So this was a recap of the video which we have implemented in this particular tutorial. I hope this will be useful for you. If you have any query regarding understanding, you can ask in the comment section.